Alright guys, welcome to my first video lecture for our downtime. I want to thank you guys for helping. I know this has been challenging, it's been bizarre for all of us, so I'm still going to try to make sure you guys get some good useful info, something that will help you in your careers. And today we were supposed to go over rifles. So what I'm going to do is, if you have your packets, hopefully you manage to get those. If not, tell me and I'll try to get you a copy of the packets, electronic version. What I'm going to do today is going to go over different rifle actions and how they function. This could be useful to you in a number of ways in the future in a law enforcement capacity. If you find a gun, you want to know how to clear it, all right? And rifles are long guns that fire one projectile. Okay, like you've seen the pistols we've been shooting, you have one projectile. We have other long guns when we get to the shotguns, and they fire shotgun shell, which we'll talk about later. But the rifle, it fires one projectile. You are going to need to know, possibly in your career, you pick up a random gun, you're going to maybe need to know how to use it to defend yourself with, but most likely you're going to just need to know how to be safe with it and not hurt nobody else, right? So, one, of course, we're going to obey all the safety rules, keep the gun pointed in the safe direction, keep your finger off the trigger, and, make sure that it's unloaded. So when you secure the firearm, you're going to want to try to, one, determine if it's loaded, and if it is, then you need to unload it and secure the ammo, and yada, yada, yada. So we're going to start with the most simple kind. All right, this rifle is called a break action. All right, and it's most commonly this action type you'll find in shotguns, but you do find rifles like this. The rifles and shotguns function typically very similar to each other. What you're going to do is try to find the lever or device that opens the action. On this one, there's a little thumb button. You push down on this thumb button, and the gun breaks in two, and then you can see that the gun's unloaded. All right. This gun here has a pouch on the side that would have rounds in it, so you're going to want to secure all those, not just unload the gun, but make sure there's no ammo with the gun in case you're whatever reason. All right, you don't want to leave it laying around where somebody can pick it back up and load it. You've cleared it, but you've set it in the corner, but you've left ammo with it. All right, so I saw an auction at a Carter County Sheriff's Department years ago where there was a gun very similar to this laying on a table at the auction, and it had live rounds in the butt cuff. Okay, or so any moron at the table there could have picked the gun up, messing around with it, and loaded it. Okay, the gun itself wasn't loaded, but they had live rounds right there with it. Okay, we're in a teaching environment right now here at my house, so there's no live ammo around because I don't want to wind up putting a hole in the wall, right? So you have to do that. You have to be doubly extra careful all the time. So anyway, here's your break action. Once again, you just hit the drop brake lever, open the gun, make sure it's clear. You can leave the action open. It's not a bad idea. Once you've cleared a gun like that, set it somewhere like this so that the action's open, so then everybody can tell that it's unloaded. All right, just like we do with the chamber flags. Of course, you're probably not going to carry a pocket full of chamber flags, but it wouldn't hurt you just to leave the action open like that. So there's your break action. Next pretty common type of rifle would be a bolt action. Now this is a military style bolt action. You're going to find all kinds of hunting type bolt actions. The way a bolt action typically works is you're going to grab the bolt handle, lift up on it, pull it back, and that'll let you see into the chamber. See there's nothing in the chamber, and then you'll look down in the gun to make sure there's nothing in the magazine. This gun is a military type gun, so you can actually remove the magazine. But most hunting type guns, the magazines don't come out. Some of them have a lever that'll drop the floor plate out, and you can check and see, just dump the rounds all the way out that way. But they don't all. But if you just look down inside the action here, you can see if there's extra rounds in there. Some of them, the only way to get all the rounds out is you're going to have to cycle the bolt. Okay, so you'll just have to work the bolt until you get all the rounds out. Of course, being super, super careful, you've got the gun pointed in the safe direction the whole time. Once again, once you've done that, you pull the bolt back, leave the bolt back. That demonstrates that the action is clear. Okay, the gun's clear. Safety stuff always, safe direction, finger off the trigger, all that. Next one is a lever action rifle. All right, so now for a lever action rifle, you're going to have to work the lever, and you're going to look down inside the chamber then. All right, so we know that there's nothing in the chamber, but what about the magazine? Lever actions are really kind of squirrely, okay, because it's kind of hard to tell if there's anything in the action. Sometimes you can see the little bit of a brass sticking out right there, because this is the loading port. On a lever action rifle, to load it, you have to put the round in the side here and push it up, kind of like you would on a shotgun. All right, and you just push them in, push them in, push them in, and it fills this tube up on the rifle. And so to get those rounds out, you're going to have to, just like I showed you with the bolt action, you're going to have to work the lever, work the lever, work the lever, work the lever, kick all the rounds out. All right, of course, making doubly sure that the gun's pointed in the safe direction the whole time you're doing that. Okay, then to leave the action open, you hold it open like that. Now, on lever action rifles, bolt action rifles, and some semi-automatics, the magazine on them is sometimes kind of peculiar. It's this tube fed affair. All right, so some of them you'll have to take and twist this little tube and pull it out, and that allows you to drop rounds in right here. And then the rounds fall all down in this tube, down into here, and then when you work the action, the gun's loaded. Now this is a semi-auto 22 with a tube fed like that. So semi-auto, pull the action open, and you look in the chamber, make sure it's clear. And then some of these you're going to have to work just the same as the others to get that tube clear. You have to work, kick all the rounds out. This one, you can pull the plunger out, and you could turn it upside down, and that would dump all the rounds out. But they don't all work like that. All right, so there's a lot of general plans that work with most firearms, but there's very specific details with each one. So as long as you know the general basics, you've got a brake action, bolt action, lever action, semi-auto, and then the different magazine types. Some magazines detachable magazines. Some are fixed inside a fixed box. You got a detachable box, a fixed box, like the bolt action, where you look down inside the action, and then you have the tube fed. And then there's a couple of ways you could get the rounds out of a tube fed. But if you kind of have a general idea about the way those basic plans of a rifle work, then if you encounter one in your job, you can at least make sure it's safe. And God forbid, if you had to pick one up at a certain time, you could monkey your way through it. All right, nothing beats training. It wouldn't hurt you to get your hands on some of them, put some rounds through it. But especially with something that you're using secondary like that, kind of keep your mind free with them. All right, don't think, oh well, the brake action is here because another brake action release could be someplace else on the gun. So you're just gonna have to find it. You know, somewhere on there's a release lever. It might be on the right, it might be on the left, it might be in front of the trigger guard. So you're just going to have to play with them, all right, if you pick them up like that. But safety, 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 safe direction, finger off trigger, make sure the gun's unloaded as quick as you can. So far we've went over the brake, the lever, and the bolt. The semi-auto is probably what you guys will be issued, and probably what you'll run into a lot on the job, so to speak. The two ubiquitous semi-auto platforms in the world and in this country are the AK and the AR platform. I'll show you guys the AK first, just as kind of an intro, and then I'll show you the AR a little more detailed because that's probably what you'll be issued. All right. This is an AK platform rifle. Well, first I'll show you the magazine I'm going to be playing with here. Doesn't have any bullets in it. And then the rifle itself, the action on it is operated by a handle on the right hand side of the gun. So you're going to pull that back. You can tell there's no magazine in this gun. You can look up in the chamber, nothing in the chamber. All right, the safety on this gun is here. Just a lever on the side of the gun. You push it down to fire, up is safe. Okay. Once again, safeties are just mechanical devices though that don't guarantee anything. You're still the safety of the gun. So if you needed to work an AK, if you found an AK that had a magazine in it, remember the first step in clearing a semi-auto firearm is removing the magazine. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this magazine out. Well, the magazine release on an AK is right here in front of the trigger guard. It's that paddle. So if we squeeze with our thumb and you rock the magazine out like that, okay, now we've got our magazine out, so we've got to check the chamber. So now we're going to pull that lever back, checking the chamber. so we know this gun is clear. Typically AKs, bolts won't stay open. All right, so it wouldn't hurt you to improvise. Stick your ink pen, you know, something, so everybody else can tell. You know, if you got a spare ink pen or something, you can clear a gun like that so that you know that it's unloaded, and all your buddies can tell that gun's been cleared. All right. If you needed to use one though, you just randomly found one and you found some magazines with it, to load an AK, the magazine rocks in. It's kind of weird, kind of archaic, but you hook the magazine in and then pull it back like that. Okay, it's a little, like you see, they've got a little trick to it. So you go in deep enough where you can grab on the front and then rock it back like that, and that locks the magazine in. Then you'd have to work your bolt to get around out of the magazine. Okay, so once again, take it out, squeeze on the thumb, rock the magazine out. If you're going to put it in, go in kind of deep, rock it back, then work your action, you're ready to roll. All right, so we'll clear this one, magazine out, bolt open, gun's clear. And the last one, the AR. All right, once again, you can see this magazine's clear, and the rifle itself, to clear it, the charging handle, okay, is back here just above where you would grip the pistol, and it's got a little lever on it. You have to squeeze that to pull back on the charging handle. All right, then that opens the bolt and lets you look into the chamber. All right, so we can look. It's going to be kind of hard to see on camera, but you can look in the chamber and make sure the gun's clear. So nothing in the mag well, nothing in the chamber. This gun's clear. Yeah, this gun's just a little bit tricky. It's not quite a standard AR, but it is an AR platform. This one, I've got a flashlight on it and an optic that's illuminated, but it doesn't have a great deal of power. So this is a fairly good setup. The way the AR platform standard works, if you found one that had a magazine in, first thing you want to do to clear it is get the magazine out. Okay, and so with an AR, if you're a right-handed person, it's set up perfectly for you. We need to have our finger off the trigger all the time, right? So if we want to unload this gun, the magazine release button is right where our trigger finger would be anyway if it was off the trigger. So if we just push that button, magazine comes out. All right, then to check the chamber, we're going to pull back on that charging handle, look up in the chamber, make sure the gun's clear. All right, so now we know the gun's clear. If and when you need to operate one of these, you put the magazine in, you push up till it locks. It never hurts to give a little tug to that magazine to make sure it's seated, because you can push it in and it not lock and you think it's in, and then you start trying to fight with the gun or shoot the gun and your magazine falls out. Or you work the bolt thinking you're going to load the gun and your magazine falls out. Or worse, it doesn't fall out and you think you've got a loaded gun and you don't know till you start shooting and your magazine falls out. Okay, so put that magazine in, give a little tap to it, a little tug, make sure that it's in there properly. To load it, then you pull the charging handle back. All right, notice I've got an empty magazine, so my charging handle stays to the rear. I'm going to push that back forward. If this had been a full magazine, when I pulled that charging handle back and just let it go, that would have loaded the gun. Now, I'm in a configuration now, what would happen when the gun is empty? Notice the bolt is locked to the rear. You can look in there and see that orange follower in the magazine. That's what's going to happen when you're shooting the gun, boom, 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 and you run it dry. When it runs out, that's going to lock open. All right, so when you reload the next time, magazine, put your next magazine in. To let your bolt go forward, you've got a button on the left-hand side, okay, right here. When you push that button in, that would load the gun, okay? So the gun will be then loaded and ready to roll. I'm going to call that done for now. If you guys have any questions, you want anything demonstrated more thoroughly, want to see something in particular close up, pictures, still shots, or something like that, send me an email and I will get you guys as much info as I can. I'm going to do another couple of videos on using the AR in various situations. And yeah, you guys tell me what you need and I'll do the best I can to make sure it happens. Thank you.